And so that brings us to our fourth question in this module. How can we detect nonsense? I'm going to propose a nonsense detector. It starts off as, if something doesn't fit our experience and common sense, and let's use this picture as an example. We're in the old original version of Star Trek. We have the doctor saying, "My God, Jim, not only is he dead, but his head is on backwards and his nipples are missing." He's examining a dead body on the ground. And he thinks his head is on backwards and his nipples are missing. Now, does that fit our common experience? Does that make sense? Spock, the logical one, says, roll him over. The gentleman was on his front. And so his head was looking backwards and his nipples are missing. So in this case, the observation or the theory didn't fit our experience and common sense, so we rejected it. We found an alternative. So if something doesn't fit our experience and common sense, then it's probably nonsense. Let's try this as an example. Let's say your neighbor, who is a weather announcer, says he knows what the weather will be like 100 years from now. He will be able to predict the temperature to within 1 degree. Now, you should step back and say, well, my weather announcer neighbor has made predictions in the past. How accurate have they been? Well, not accurate. we all know the weather announcers aren't very accurate. And so if he can't predict the weather a day from now accurately, a week from now accurately, let's go even a month from now accurately. If he can't predict it within 1 degree, why do we think he can predict it to 1 degree 100 years from now? That makes no sense. Our experience with him and common sense says he can't make this prediction. Now, if your neighbor was also a weather scientist, would this change? Well, you'd have to look at his predictions for the next day, week, and month. And if the weather scientist can't predict anything accurately within that time range, it's nonsense to think he can predict anything accurately 100 years from now. Let's talk about the medical field. Let's assume you have a dog. And your veterinarian wants to vaccinate your dog, but he says this vaccine is untested. In fact, we've never run any control groups with it to see if the vaccine actually helps prevent the disease. In fact, he says it likely won't prevent the disease. It might make the symptoms, less big. Now, you might ask, well, are there any side effects to this untested vaccine? And then the veterinarian would say, no, we've never tested it, so we don't know about side effects. Well, will my doctor be impaired? Is it possible he could die from the vaccine? Well, the vaccine is untested. We don't know. We can't give you any clear guidance on that. Well, how much will it prevent the disease? No, you don't understand. It won't prevent the disease. It just means that, where he may have had a runny nose for a week, well, maybe he'll have a runny nose for 3 days. It just lessens the symptoms. So you should ponder this and go, what does common sense say? Common sense says this is an untested vaccine. It could potentially kill my dog. It's not going to prevent the disease. It's going to reduce the time to him to get healthy. Well, I just wouldn't get that vaccine, would you? So in this case, what the veterinarian is saying is, I would say, is nonsense. I would think, just the cynic I am, that the veterinarian is getting a kickback from selling these vaccines. That would just be my observation. So I want you to walk away with this not being amused. You, as a person, have the ability to use your experiences and common sense to detect nonsense. In fact, you are obligated to disagree with someone who claims to be an expert if their views fail the nonsense detector. I want to say that. It's not that you're nice to them. It's not that you nod. It's you should disagree openly with them and explain why. Because they're spouting nonsense. So this is the nonsense detector we want to apply to undirected macroevolution.